At the time of recording this video, $1 American, the USD versus the Thai baht, the currency of Thailand, was at or is at 33.98. The reason being I may do it in American dollars and I may do some in the currency of Thailand. A very warm welcome to the channel. My name is James and welcome to the Asia channel. And today we're going to talk about why do men retire in Pattaya, the single man's paradise. Well, the cost compared to the United States is a lot cheaper and you're going to get more bang for your buck. Now, if you're over 50 years old, you can get a retirement visa for Thailand. And if you do go to Pattaya, you will see it does have a big expat community. And if you have a stable income, like a pension of over 2,000 American dollars, I think you're going to be quite comfortable. If you're under, then maybe things will be on a bit of a budget. So first of all, your accommodation. You can get a pretty nice apartment for rent. You can buy as well, but let's do renting for now, for about, let's say, 500 American dollars. You can get cheaper or you can get more expensive if you have the budget. It depends on your lifestyle. But a one-bedroomed apartment, maybe it has a sea view, or it's on a high floor, so you're going to get a good view, maybe round about 500. So 5 times 3 is like 15,000, 16,000 baht. The electricity would be hopefully that you can get it at a government rate, and I think that's like 6 baht per kilowatt or per unit. The water is not very expensive. The Wi-Fi is really high speed. You can get good high speed networks there. And if you rent an apartment, it usually comes furnished, which comes with a TV, which comes with the cable or satellite channels. So you're getting a good deal for that. Now, if you're a single guy, you don't need much space, let's be honest with you, and you're going to save on a lot of tidying up. The kitchens in these apartments are usually quite small. The reason being a lot of people don't cook at home. They would go to the street market and they would just buy the food for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Maybe they would eat it there, or maybe they would bring it home and they can eat it in the comfort of their own home. There are some great shopping centres in Pattaya. One is in North Pattaya and it's called Terminal 21. They do have another branch in Bangkok on Sukhumvit Road, next to Asok, if you know Bangkok there. And underneath usually these shopping centres is sort of like a grocery store, and where you can get your normal supply of toilet paper and coffee, and maybe some sauces and just the things that you would need for your kitchen and your daily necessities there. There's another one in the center called Central Festival, and it's got like 4 or 5 stories of shopping, and then on the ground floor you do have the supermarket, which I do believe is called Tops, don't quote me on that one, along with lots of restaurants where you can eat at a reasonably good price. You would need insurance. Now, my friend who does live in Thailand, he's lived there since the 1990s. I did ask him how much his insurance was, maybe about 4 years ago, and he quoted about 1,000 American dollars per year. So that's like, what, $80, $90 per month for that. But it gets him into a good hospital like this one here, Bangkok Hospital. He's in Bangkok, but there is a branch of Bangkok Hospital in Pattaya as well. Now, I know some people do complain about my pronunciation of Pattaya or Pattaya or whatever it is. Different people do have different sayings over it. But the healthcare, Bangkok hospitals is world class for you. And you do have some spectacular beaches around there. In Pattaya city centre, you do have, it's right on the coast, you can spend the day literally under a sun umbrella, just enjoying the warmth, going for a paddle. The water is relatively clean. There are better beaches around. For example, the town next door to Pattaya, or Pattaya, is Jonsium, where the sea is much cleaner there. And it's going to be very different to, you could say, if you lived in, I don't know, Chicago, that you're going to wake up every morning and you do have the option of going to the seaside every day. For some people, this would be a dream come true. Now, as I mentioned, there is a huge expat community who does live in this area of Thailand, and part of your social would actually be going out with some friends that you have made. Maybe you would go to a normal kind of bar with no girls there, and you can just like the pub. And the beer that you would pay for, maybe you would do like 90 baht, which is like $3 compared to a bar in, again, let's say Chicago, which may cost you for the same bottle of beer $5. So it is a bit cheaper. If you do smoke, then it's going to be a lot cheaper than in UK or America. I think it's like £10 for a packet of cigarettes in England now. In Thailand, it's going to cost you maybe like 100 baht, which is just over $3. And of course, you have at your doorstep the nightlife. Pattaya is known as the adult playground of Asia, possibly the world as well. And all the kind of go-go bars and these bars that you can go into where they would have the hostesses is actually sort of like, it's illegal to do the prostitution in Thailand, but it's sort of like accepted. And of course, it's going to really help the local GDP with all the American dollar or the foreign currency coming into the country. And this is possibly one of the reasons there that it is normal for a guy to be a butterfly. He may not have a girlfriend. He may decide to find a companion for the night and pay maybe $30 to $50 for her. And then in the morning, she would go on her way. You've had your entertainment, and then you don't have any of the girlfriend problems. And then you can pick and choose your different women per week or per day if you got the budget for it. So it's sort of like that single man's paradise where you can live alone, you can live in your own apartment, you don't have your wife or your girlfriend, can I say, annoying you. For some men like this. And the average, you can do the retirement visa in Thailand when you're 50 years old. In this country, it's 55 years old, but there are exceptions to the rule related to this. So there is a cost to it. In Thailand, you need to have a deposit in a Thai bank of 800,000 baht, I do believe, or to show that you have an income, a pension of over 2,000 American dollars, let's say 60,000 baht, I think minimum it is now, that you show to the immigration authorities. You don't have to go to immigration to do this. You can get some agents who will do all the paperwork for you. But of course, you got to pay for it. But going back to your entertainment, it's a very liberal kind of city, and a lot of the females who do work in this environment will be walking around in, you could say, some quite nice dresses, or less than that. And it's not embarrassing for them. Some may feel embarrassed because it's the norm. It's normal in this area. And so if you go out with your friends in America, you wouldn't say, oh, I went out with this lovely lady of the night. There, it would be something that you keep quiet usually. But in Pattaya, you can actually say this openly to your friends, and they may do the same. Some do have girlfriends, some do have wives, but a lot would prefer to be or live that single life and just have the entertainment when they choose on a Monday night, for example. You're not working, so it doesn't really matter if it's Saturday or Monday. And they say that the girls prefer the older men in Pattaya. Whether that's true or not, it's sort of like, well, I do go to Pattaya. I go and hang out with my buddies there. I do have friends who live there, and they're quite open about their entertainment. I'm very happy with my partner at the I got hiccups. Soapy at the moment, and it's good fun to hang out with the friends and have a beer and watch the world go by, so to speak. But many men would have the different companion on different nights. All in all, for the single man, it is a paradise. You can get a nice apartment, not a lot of money. The utilities are not expensive. Your shopping, maybe for your groceries and maybe your street food that a lot of people would eat, is a minimal amount of money. The main thing that you would possibly spend your money on is entertainment. The beer, even though it's cheaper than the United States, not as cheap as here, but cheaper than England or the United States of America. And you can have fun as well. And you can have fun with some people who are half or even more than your age. It's all food for thought, and it's just the realism of the world. And some people would be tired of living in, I don't know, Los Angeles or Chicago or a city in the Midwest, for example. And this has everything that you could possibly desire as a single man who's over 50 years old. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you all. Bye-bye for now.